Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Alma Flow Podcast. I'm Paola Aelia, yoga teacher and mentor in wellness and spirituality. Every week, I invite people from around the world to have a heartfelt conversations about spirituality, not as a concept, but as something that we actually live. And today, I'm truly honored to welcome Haruko Blue Star Child. Haruko is a multidimensional artist, celestial musician, spiritual cheerleader, and children's book author. For more than 27 years, she has been creating art inspired by the sacred feminine, new earth frequencies, and multidimensional light codes. Through her music, she shares what she describes as a frequency of celestial love. She's also the founder of the Blue Star Child Gallery in Mount Shasta, California. Haruko, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I've always wanted to have this conversation for a long time because your work has always touched me very deeply. And I first found you while searching for the people who actually live in Mount Shasta. And a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to visit Mount Shasta with a friend, and I also had the opportunity to teach yoga there. And I really have respect for the mountain and for the people who truly call it home. So thank you so much for your time.
Obrigado. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was looking forward to connecting with you, and I feel some kind of a bright excitement in my heart. When I got the message from you to have an interview, and there's something uh, happening, between Brazil and Mount Shasta, because I told her before the interview that, I had 6, 7 people directly from Brazil came to visit my gallery. So yeah, there is some strong bridge, and Korean connection perhaps, so Pleiadian connection happening mhm, between Mount
Yeah,
Shasta and Brazil.
and let's start from the beginning. Haruko, where were you born? Were you born in Shasta? How was your childhood like? Was spirituality already part of your life? Can you share with us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I was not born in Mount Shasta. I was born in Japan, Tokyo, Japan. And I came to America in 1987 to study in the university. And it's a long story short. I discovered Mount Shasta in 2002. And when I saw the mountain, I knew that there is something that I have been seeking for in my life that I haven't done before. I haven't really, made the effort to go to another level. But when I saw the mountain, just my instinct in my heart was saying that this is the next place that I am going to explore my life I could explore myself within to go to the level that I haven't been. So then I moved in 2004. hmm And
Wow.
yeah,
2004. Yeah, my friend and I, Emilia, Emily, I love you if you're here. We went together to Mount Shasta 2 years ago, and we really have this heartfelt with Mount Shasta. And I don't know how to explain why I'm so connected with that. Um, it's really funny how I feel that the mountain chooses us, kind of. It's not just, like there's something magical there. Um, and how was for you living in Japan? How was your life in Japan with the spirituality? It changed over the years. You were like spiritual since you're little. How was that transition with you, with your life?
well, like everyone else, I was quite, immersed into the old structure, following all the rules and regulations of all the structures in society, educational system. But there's something always within me that I needed to, be free from that. So I have been always rebel, and I didn't want to follow everything that they tell me to do. And but in high school, I really had a determination to go to America, because if you're really immersed in that world, you kind of lose the light in a way. That's what I felt. Like my light needed to be free, and only way and only direction that I felt in my heart was to get out of my country, and leave behind all of the obligations and responsibility and traditions, because it just limits you from who you are. So yeah, so that's why I chose to live in the land where I can find myself, has more allowance, to find myself. um, yeah, and being away from my parents, all that expectation is very, very heavy. And
Mhm.
I just really had a determination to come to America. So I actually didn't study so much because I didn't want to pass the test to go to university, because once you go to
Mhm.
university, then you have to go, all these things and get married and all of that, have a career in the business field, and I could see all the path which is already set, but I didn't want to go there. So, mhm.
Mhm.
And coming to America, it's just a slow discovery of myself and finding step by step, what I want to do. And in some point, you also lose the purpose, and then you always go back, okay, what I really want to do. And so everybody go through that process of finding ourselves and finding every step of the way. and
Mhm.
and finding Mount Shasta um, was helpful for me because this mountain holds such a frequency of, for me, it's like a universal truth, and also like a near earth frequency. Like we all know that in our hearts before we incarnated in this body. We knew what we really wanted deep in our heart, and that frequency this mountain holds, and of course many other sacred site holds as well. um, but this mountain and also the nature, the mother earth energy is very potent. And since I grew up in Tokyo, it's a middle of concrete jungle, and I always wanted to live in the nature. And the nature is a teacher, because we are now relearning how to be as natural as we can be. We got so confined, like put all the unnatural things, unnatural habit, unnatural pattern of life, unnatural thinking, way of thinking. And being in the nature, helps us to remember and release all that is not natural for us. So
That's
mhm.
beautiful. What was the point in your life that you realized that music had become something sacred for you? Because it's really beautiful the way you play your instruments, your connection with music, and it feels very healing when you listen to.
Right. Well, when we do things that we really love, it becomes the healing for ourselves. And I always loved, ever since I was little, I always loved the flute, the plastic flute that we played when we were little. And I always loved doodling. The art and music was always bring me so much joy. And feels like that was the clue for me to find my own healing in a way, on awakening. Um, it's it is really good to, for example, be like a mother and sing to yourself and record it, and then listen to it. And well, in the beginning, there's some resistance. Oh, I don't like my voice. Oh, it just sounds terrible. But when you really, really open your heart and, sing to your inner child or something, it brings so much healing. And we are the self healer, you know. And so when we do something that we bring joy, and well, you asked me about the music. Well, I always love to play flute. But when I was living in Sedona, Arizona, that's another power spot. And I started to play again a lot in the nature. And I discovered that when I play, I could feel the spirit of the nature and spirit of the ancestors in the canyons. They're all listening to me, and I could feel the conversation going. Even with the birds and insects, they respond. And so it was such a joy for me to do that. And so I kept on doing, playing in the nature. And then people started to ask me, can you play for us? And so I started to play for people, but it just never really for the people. It was always for myself. And that's the origin of my joy of playing flute. And so it's really about self fulfillment with art and
Mhm.
music, because it just brings me so much joy. And I think when we do that, then naturally brings the healing for others, because I am healing myself in that way, and
Mhm.
vibrating in the frequency of joy.
Mhm. Mhm. That's so beautiful. I remember when I was little, my grandparents, they were musicians, and I always admire so much, and I was so free with music. Seeing families singing, and I used to sing a lot. High school, you have this rock roll bands and all these
Yes.
things, and I was singing a lot. And also in a church, because I remember going with my aunt to the church, and we were singing. You have the I have forgot the name in English. You have the group of people singing in the church, the choir, and I remember that it was so healing for me. And as an adult, I remember that once I start exploring the world and going to different places, and then it's different languages and cultures. I don't know why I stopped singing for a while, I think for almost 10 years. And then I realized how it was so healing for me to sing. And but it's still something was really blocking me. And then when I start practicing yoga,
Mhm.
open more my throat chakra, I remember that start changing, but it was a long process to really connect with my voice again. It's really funny that when you grow older, sometimes we block things that are so free and flow so well as a child. And
Mhm.
now I'm in this process that I start singing, chanting mantras again. And I saw a friend one time playing a harmonium, Indian harmonium. And then I was like, oh, I really feel connected with this instrument. So let me try. And it's so easy for me to learn by, just, I don't know, I don't need a teacher for those things. It's so fun. I just get the
Right.
instrument and say, oh, hey, let me figure out this. And then the instrument choose me. And it's beautiful to see this process. And I really connect with people like you that really is so free with the instruments and in the nature. And it's beautiful, this communication that you have with the nature while you're playing. And it's very, very beautiful. And you inspire me a lot with that, because it's kind of my process too.
Yeah, and there's always another level and another level, but I think the free expression of us is really, really natural things, and we just you know pushed us back, held back in so many occasions. And once you held back in many occasions, and we end up closing the door. So allowing the the childlike state just carefree, singing, dancing, laughing, crying, all of that, it's the flow of life. And that's what the nature teaches, just it's always flowing, it's always moving. And hmm
Yeah, and it's is it that is there any connection with your work with the child book that you have, all the draws that you have, the multidimensional things that you have? It's so beautiful the art you have there. I was seeing your website, this child gallery. Can you tell us a little bit about this work that you do?
okay, so it started, I mean, I always love doodling and everything that it's about art and creation. And but this kind of doodling started in 1999, and it's just on the sketchbook, but it was just a simple line designs that I was creating. But when I was drawing, I could feel the life on the page. It's almost like communicating with the page. There's this something that is alive and communicating and activating something deep inside of me that triggers more curiosity to explore and keep going. And in the beginning, I was designing the toys with the bunnies and bear, and everything was about bunny and bear, but the bear disappeared, and making the bunny drawings became my thing for years. For in the beginning of the 2 years, I was doing a lot of bunnies, but bunnies have sometimes wings, sometimes they look so wise, or sometimes they look like alien, sometimes they look like angels, but they also have this profound wisdom from the line that you can feel. And I guess that's what we are now saying light codes or light language. It's a special kind of combination of line and sacred geometry perhaps, but my lines are more freer than sacred geometry. But it's a language like alphabet of different dimensions and comes out in a different forms and shapes and colors. And so I was just so excited to feel something from the page. But in the beginning time in 1999, was not exposed to like the words like channeling or different dimensions, you know. But I was enjoying that communication and the learning process from my drawings. And so I kept on going, and the rabbit took different shapes and forms and became more complicated, and just started to discover more and more. Oh, there's angelic world, there's elemental world, there's star beings, there's so many geometry that speaks to you, but I don't understand, but it really activate my remembrance of who we really are. And so I kept on going and going, and now I have a gallery to share for people to really remember and also be activated. But that happens naturally. I didn't know the function of my art because I was just enjoying doing it, and realized that I have been activating myself with my drawing that comes through me. Um, and now that I witness that this drawing activate others as well, and it's very, very profound.
Yeah, it's so profound and it's so beautiful. I was looking and you really feel something. But I'm also, as a child, just learning, all this multidimensional communication. And I don't know how to explain, but it's just feel this connection. And how do people connect, like, can we, for example, purchase and take it to our home, and then you can put, is there a specific place that you can put the drum on the wall or in a temple? How is that how does people really connect with that you see your clients?
With my artwork, you saying?
Your artwork, yeah.
Mhm. Oh, okay. So, well, if you are in here in person, you can immediately feel the frequency as soon as you enter. I see some people start crying as soon as they walk in because they can feel that home frequency. It's like that spirit that we know that home.
But
And
can you take it home with us, or is just a gallery that we just pictures? How is that?
well, so you can experience that way too, but also there's a little posters, and that it's like a small window of the frequency that comes through, and you can purchase that, and there's a frequency come through, and so you can pick several and put it in your room, so meditation room or where you see often, because the frequency come through into your room. So if you put intention, it's much more stronger. But also you can just leave it where you feel good. It's really about mm, yeah, it's really about, okay, how do I feel good with these things? It's really intuition and feeling. It's People ask me which one is good for me. There's like a bunch of posters in my store or on my online store, and people ask me which one is good for me, which one is for me. And I always say, okay, when you go to grocery store, how do you feel which food would be, something that you want to take into your body? So consider this is your spirit food. So what do you really, really want? And so you can kind of relate to more, how do you say, in everyday level of how we use like simple intuition and simple listening to our own body and select what we really want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And that's what
Uh,
that works the best.
I really want to come to visit your gallery now.
Yeah, you have to come back again.
Yeah, so we have to go back. And I have a question about the mountain. How do you feel now, you personally that live there? Are you living there more than, how long have you been living there? For
about
20 years?
about 18 years.
18 years. And I see that recently, it's becoming very popular, going to Mount Shasta, let's say kind of the same way as going to Peru, or to visit, the sacred places.
Mhm.
And I remember 2 years ago, when I've been there, wasn't that hype yet in Brazil. I don't remember being so hyped the way it is now. So I think that's why you're seeing more Brazilian people now.
Mhm.
Um, how do you feel about being getting more popular? Because my friend told me there's a need for example, permission to do retreats or groups excursions over there. That some local people are a little bit concerned about the preservation about the mountain. Do you feel that this is something that is going on there?
You know, the Mount Shasta has been known for many years, and so it just comes in the waves too. And like you said, mountain calls you when it's time. It's really that deep spiritual agreement. So to have that and to have the respect and honor for that calling and visit there, well, nothing really strange happens. There's some kind of respect that you have to pay for the nature, though. But most of the spiritually oriented people, they have awareness and respect for the nature. And so, for example, there's a beautiful meadow, and just walk on the trail, not walk on the meadow, for example, because the plants in the meadows, they have very fragile structure, and it's a common sense that you don't walk there. And I don't have much concern, because people come and go. When mountain calls you, they come, and so I have a trust in that. um, yeah. There is a higher purpose that is always working here. And so it's good that many people come and receive this frequency of Mount Shasta. And also, like Peru holds such certain frequency and ancient wisdom that is, bestowed upon the earth, on the land, and also in the ancient structures, and people go there to receive. But also, it's a mutual things that I see. You don't go there to just to get those things. Also, you bring your light and love to wherever you go, to Peru, to Himalaya, to Mount Shasta. You bring your beautiful light from Brazil and so much love and passion. You guys have this like different frequency, and you bring in that, to mountain. So it's a mutual exchange. So if you can see it that way, with the gratitude of ourselves and of the mountain or the sacred places, there is no concern so much. But if you're really arrogant or ego-centered, or throwing the trash away or something, then that's not very good. But with the gratitude and honor of ourselves and honor of the sacred places, I think there is more that we can expand together. And mountain would enjoy, for example, the Brazilian energy and Brazilian songs, perhaps. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. Yeah. And living in Mount Shasta, we are observing this beautiful energy full time, probably. And we know that if you're in a place with a lot of light and sun, if you don't protect yourself from the sun with a sunblock or something, you can burn yourself, right? So, how is to be in a place that there's a lot of light? How is your spiritual practices daily? How do you protect your energy? Is it different from other places? Do you feel that there, or the energy itself protects you? How is that work in the daily basis? Because I feel the energy there is very high, depending on where you are. Of course, you get used to, but how is that?
Well, I mean, I lived in many places in the United States too, but um, well, I understand the point, because many visitors come here for the short time, and it's the high moment. Every day it's just a high moment, and being blasted by uh, the high frequency and beauty of this area. And if you live here, of course, there's a lot of, like everybody else, so many things that we need to look within will come up. And also, it is a portal. Like many other places, there are many portals on Earth, but this place is a portal, meaning that there are a lot of energy that it's transmuting all the time. So you've got to be up to, how do you say, up to the point of, like, you have to be really aware every time, every moment, every day, what's really going on within you, and mm, listen to listen deeply. But that's everywhere. You've got to do that no matter where you are. Um, and there's not much protection that you need to do. It's more like just keep on loving all the process, keep on loving yourself, and honoring all the process and honoring all the things that comes up to the surface, and be able to love it and transform it and become new. That's the process that we all do no matter where we are. And it, you know, people thinks that this is the heaven. If you come here, it's gonna be all good. No. In a week visit, maybe it's like that, but
No, for your visit, I was there for almost 2 weeks, and I'm telling you, the process I was going through. Oh my goodness, was so, and I knew that was the process. I was like, okay, embrace the process, embrace the process. It's all good. Everything's for good. Was very, it was beautiful. The time I was there, but I was going through a lot of things there too. So that's why I asked
yeah,
you how you, because I was like, there's a place here in Brazil that called Chapada dos Veadeiros. It's a place
okay,
that it's all surrounded by crystal, and many healers live there next to
okay,
Goiás. And I was there for a month, and then I remember saying to myself, okay, maybe it's time to go to another city just to breathe a little bit, because I'm getting to so many, process and things are happening, because it's very earthy. You
right.
feel the energy of earth and crystal, and then you
Mm-hmm.
feel shaking all your base, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'm too sensitive for that. It was very beautiful, the time I was there, but I remember that I have to move to, time to time, to go to other places. Mount Shasta was different process, was a different energy. But after I came back to Brazil, my life changed like this, like so many things, so many patterns that changed, and I was like really strong doing all the movement I need to do here. Was beautiful. But so that's why I asked, because maybe there, this is, as you say, you have to be aware of the process. Don't take personal about everything that happens to you.
Right. For me, my suggestion is utilizing the water. And the water, water flows. Water is emotion. Emotion is water. So most of the things that we struggle is, when the emotional energy blocks, then it becomes very difficult. So for me personally, I learned a lot from water. um, Spend time around water, in the water, and that helps to transform faster or more with ease and grace. That's a blessing of this area, using the water and sometimes air. And like for example, if you go to Sedona, I don't know if you've been there, Sedona, Arizona, it's another power spot, and that place is more like, for me, it's a fire and earth, but especially fire, and it really burns you fast. All the things that you want to transform. So every land has like a personality and a gift, and we go along with the each land's gift to learn the wisdom and to change ourselves, to discover ourselves. And so I don't know if I answered the questions, but yeah, it's
Yes,
constant,
yes.
constant awareness.
Mhm.
And
Um,
slowing down,
how's
slow
your
down.
connection? How is your connection there with the Lemurians? How is that? Sometimes you're traveling to Mount Shasta, and I'm just looking around in the street, just like, maybe this is a Lemurian, or it's just the energy. Maybe I'll see a person. Oh, this one looks like from Lemuria. How is that? How is this kind of subject there around people that live in Mount Shasta?
Mm. Well, I'm not very actively conscious in that way, because I'm a feeler. And so, for example, if you go out in the nature, and there are certain spots that I sit and feel the frequencies, and I understand that um, mm, majority of frequency that you feel when you're in Mount Shasta is really the power of Mother Earth. her power, the gentleness, and the power of creativity of her. Beautify, be able to beautify everything, and gift through the body of the nature to all the living beings. But also, there's this gentle, divine, almost like a feminine frequency that you feel like you're embraced. You feel like you are in harmony with that feminine aspect of you, and wanting to have desire to really, more like a listening to the desire to be in the harmony, in among the beauty of the nature. That's very much Lemurian. Um, and so for me, I don't really visually search for things or go to telos or whatever. Just more like my desires to become that, embody that frequency, and not really searching or looking outside of what's inside of me. So it's more like a self discovery of what you really have, and everyone has that memory, embodiment of being Lemurian. Most of us, and so it is good to go deeper within and find that within, so that even when you leave Mount Shasta, you can bring that awareness of your Lemurian aspects and bring that to Brazil, to your home, to your everyday life, and activate that gentleness, the harmonious frequency, the divine feminine, to live in nature, live in the harmony with nature, and live in the harmony within ourselves. And then you are the Lemurian as well as many others. And that's how I like to connect with Lemurians here.
That's so beautiful, Haruko. So beautiful, so inspiring. And I'm sure that Brazilians here are learning so much from you. There's no doubt there is a calling, this bridge between Brazil and Mount Shasta, because we see that a lot, and probably that's what they are searching, they're seeking this embodiment there.
Mm-hmm.
And what is nourishing your soul these days to end our chat today?
Oh, well,
Besides that,
nourishing myself, my spirit is like this sharing heart to heart with people, all over the world, but just our kind of people, to recognize that we are family, and that's really nourishing. And so thank you so much. And also being the nature just nourish so much. You nourish me so much. That's really important for our body to remember that we are part of earth, we're made of the water, the all the earthy elements, and
mhm.
remember the flow of nature within, and be natural, flow of singing, flow of dancing, flow of talking, sharing, and sometimes flow of being still, all of
Yeah,
that to embrace. Mhm.
that's so beautiful. My heart right now it's like exploding. My heart chakra it's so open, like and exposed. I just feel that I want to cry. I got very emotional with your time being here with me. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. You really nourished my heart. I'm so grateful for your generosity. You see, even my English it's going away with so emotional that I'm getting now. And to end this call, probably gonna have another one in the future if you be available. How can we find you online? I'm gonna post everything here below your website, Instagram. But if you wanna share, just say a little bit more about your work. Please be feel free.
Sure, yeah, yes, YouTube. I play some music and I'll create some videos of Mount Shasta scenery, or introducing my artwork and sharing about it with the music. And I try to entertain people in a very uplifting way. And Facebook, Instagram, that's another pages that you can find me. And also you can email me in person or whatever. And I would love to see you in my gallery if you can come. Uh, I do some weekly Lemurian sound transmission session on Saturdays. In a busier season, not in the winter time. We have a very long winter, and not many people are here. But in from the late spring to beginning of autumn, I'm doing the weekly Saturday sound session. Also, my new excitement is a galactic activation session. It's a private one. It's really good because it's a combination of all my gifts, my words, because my words bring the frequencies, but also music and also art and this space, sacred space. So you get all kind of get activated and bring the alignment in every level of your body. That's
Can we
the
get this?
interest.
Can you get this alignment online, or just in
Oh,
person?
well, that's the difficult things, but I can do online the sound session. We can arrange that sound session. Galactic activation session is very difficult because, I don't think I can bring the computer around in my space.
Well, we're
But
gonna have to travel to Mount Shasta to be Haruko to get this galactic activation.
yeah, but also I can do a private session on Zoom, and bring the intention I set the intention to bring all the frequencies through my words and through the space I am in, and we share and we can exchange the frequencies that way, and that's possible. And I have been doing that for several years. What else? Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and then I do drawing for everyone. I mean, whoever wants, because everybody is a beautiful light, and within the light, there's a unique design, and I can feel that, and I can bring that, the line design, along with some words. And I have been doing that service for about 16 years, and never gets old because I get to
I
witness
don't
that.
want to get one. Please, I want to get one. After this live, I have so much to talk to you after the live. Just I want to get all of these for sure, especially
Yes,
the
and
ones
then
you get in a distance. And then hopefully soon, very soon, we're going to be back together in Mount Shasta. And
yeah,
we
that would
have
be
to end the show. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really, really honored to talk to you. Thank you for being here. All of you that were here. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna put the subtitles in Portuguese, Haruko, so everyone can understand, even my Brazilian audience here.
oh, I see.
And if this episode touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, to leave a comment, to share with someone you love. And we will see you soon in the next episode of the Alma Flow Podcast.
Obrigado.
Thank you, arigato. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.